Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're on our final week and we're on our second to last game between London and Enclave. Again, stuff up in the air. I went to the toilet, so I actually didn't hear what stuff was up in the air. So you can talk me through this, Jamada.
Okay, so Enclave winning this game, relatively big deal, puts them in a pretty solid position to secure playoffs. Doesn't guarantee it. London, of course, the worst that they can finish is third, I believe, given their head-to-heads and the fact that they are still 2 wins above everyone else. So a loss here isn't necessarily too detrimental. Of course, I believe the format for playoffs is going to be first place fourth, second place third. So, finishing second and third is okay. The issue comes if you finish fourth. Teams don't want to finish fourth and have to roll into resolve. So, for Enclave, winning here and then tomorrow would be very ideal. If they win just here or just tomorrow and go 1-1 and they end up in playoffs, they are more likely to be in that fourth spot position.
Yeah.
Doing maths turning and cogs going in my head. And that obviously would roll them into resolve, which is not what most of the playoff teams want to end up doing.
Stuff in the air.
Stuff in the air.
Like you said, though, is second or third is kind of where all these teams are aiming for right now. Everyone wants to avoid the big green bag guy, which is resolve right now. Undefeated and honestly had a terrifyingly good split, and then our last game of the day is them versus Bulldog as well, so another one which is going to be a kind of another game that will show you how terrifying resolve are, unless Bulldog have brought some miracle for them.
It's going to be pretty funny if Bulldog actually end up crushing resolve.
I would love that. It
would be great. It would not because I have any issues with resolve or anything. One, it would mean that we don't have a team. I don't think a team has ever gone 14-0 since we've had the double round robin format. I think there's always been a team that's dropped at least one game.
I think so. I think we had to get very close again.
Yeah, because
I don't know. I should know this because I've been involved in this.
You was there, but I don't think either Fnatic or even XL, when they were present in the UKLC, went a perfect season because they would have taken games off of each other. So Resolve looking to technically break a record, and it would be ironic if a Bulldog, an organization that obviously has done the reverse of this, going 0-14, is actually the team that takes them down. So curious to see what happens in that final game. Chances are, unfortunately, Taxman has come to take his due. But obviously the focus is here on this London and Enclave game. For London, they win this game. That's it. They're pretty much secured second place. Tomorrow for them doesn't really mean too much. But Enclave, they've been on the upswing. Cleanse has been playing kind of out of his mind. Sykes has consistently got an Azir, which today could actually change because the patch has changed. It means that there's more room for champions like Azir to be removed off the table, even from red side. So Sykes could be off comfort. I honestly think the fact that we've moved over to this patch on the final week could benefit London if it means they're able to actually just freely remove away some comfort picks like the Hecarim and Azir from Enclave.
Yeah, I really like the way everything shifted in the last couple of weeks, as we've had the change to the patch we're playing on. Olaf has, thank God, fallen off because it wasn't even fun watching an Olaf, to be honest. Same with the Pantheon as well. 2 picks that were just kind of too strong. I'm kind of glad to see the back of Gore Drinker is like constantly being played if possible. I mean, it's still picked up by some champions, but honestly, nowhere near as much.
Gore Drinker now is actually just so bad that just don't buy it. Unless your champion actually requires it to function, which in most cases just isn't.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't read the patch notes on Gore Drinker. I just heard it was getting nerfed and celebrated. What exactly have they done to make Gore Drinker fall out of favor so heavily?
So the original, the original first heavy-handed nerf was effectively kind of making it so that the heal wasn't so big on, sort of 4-man, 3, 4, 5-man Gore Drinkers. So obviously, if you remember at the start of the split and obviously preseason, if a champion was in the middle of 5 members and they had, let's say, 10% HP left, and then they pressed their Gore Drinker button, they would be back to full HP. And that obviously was pretty oppressive. That's why Olaf was so strong, because he could just literally walk into teams with no disables and do that. So then they nerfed the multiplicative, whatever that word is. I can never pronounce it.
I think you said it right. Multiplicative is a multiplicative.
Yeah, see, I always get it wrong too, Jake. Don't worry.
Google
is your
me here.
So they nerfed that.
Go very pay.
So that meant that if you hit 1-man Gore Drinkers or 2-man Gore Drinkers, you ended up healing for more than before the nerf. But any more than that, you would start to see diminishing returns. And then after that, I think they nerfed it again, and they just nerfed the flat number and the flat percent missing HP and stuff like that. So
Multiplicative, by the way.
Multiplicative.
Thank you, Google. And I can't believe I had to actually look up how to pronounce that word.
It's a
you said it in a way that I was like, I just forgot.
You had to question
literally, my brain went, I don't know what this word is anymore.
Yeah. So Gore Drinker for champions like Olaf feels really bad to buy now because it doesn't really give you that second health bar which he was working with for the first couple of patches. So for champions like him, plus the actual Olaf nerfs that he also got hit with, kind of nearly not a champion anymore for the immediate future. He's still pickable, but it's like kind of the more, hey, Olaf is actually really good here, but if Olaf's good here, there's a chance that another champion's just better here. So unfortunate reality for Olaf and Olaf abusers. You're no longer getting your 10p low.
Luckily, we are finally into the game. Well, into Champ Selects at least. We did have a slight delay due to an Enclave toilet emergency. That's all I know. Yeah, I don't want to ask anything else. The Fresh, the Kaiser, the Seraphine all being banned away.
Yeah, so I'm going to be curious to see whether either Enclave themselves, I think Enclave are going to look probably towards a Gragas first pick. Now, what I want to actually look towards for London is, will they ban away the Azir? Will they ban away the Hecarim? For now, it seems like they're going to have to pick between the two. They could obviously split them up. Beely, I'm sure, has the Azir in his champion pool. And I'm sure PFI obviously would prefer the Gragas, but it's likely to be taken away by Enclave. So the decision for London is really to ban it away and then give over Hecarim for free, but then take the Azir. I'm sure these are the kind of scenarios flowing through the heads of the London players and staff. Time is ticking, though. Let's see what their final ban is.
It's going to be the Azir, so taking that away. I had a lot of Azir today, so makes sense. Thinking about what has been banned away, there it is, the Gragas. That was the one that's been perma-banned all day.
There's obviously the Kaiser ban's there, so then Voxnay's not going to have his hands on that one. So a Hecarim rotation might not be as strong without it, though what you could see is potentially something like a Rel Hecarim, which then obviously also facilitates the dive threat that the Hecarim has if London are thinking about actually separating Cleanser from this champion, because honestly, Enclave have looked the best when he is on this champion. Let's see if they're thinking about it though, but the answer seems like it's not actually going to be that. They want to just lock in the Grace for themselves. With Gragas being taken away, it seems like that is PFI's second most champion.
It's a pick we see some people pick up into the Hecarim as well. So it's kind of like a preemptive pick there for them, and I think makes sense. You can kind of match the farming speed. You have great scaling on it as well. I still would potentially like to see that Rel actually get locked in here, but no, they're going to go for the Senna instead. An Enclave over to them to probably lock in their bot lane here.
Yeah, so I do actually like the Senna takeaway because obviously Hecarim and Senna, and just Senna with diving champions in general is such a powerful tool where, the diving champion typically has some kind of knockdown, so then the Dawning Shadows comes over the top of it and just so much damage and shielding. So I do like the takeaway in that sense, and it's obviously a very strong champion on this patch. With Kaiser gone, it's basically the S+ tier AD carry, and as we've kind of alluded to for a while, Cleanser gets the Hecarim. Not too surprised out of that. What I am going to be looking forward to is what Sykes is actually going to lock in. I expect Enclave probably want to respond with an AD carry in kind to the Senna. Though honestly, they have just locked in their top side a couple of times whilst they're on the left side. So we'll have to see whether the priority is for Impulse or for Sykes.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Impulse. So they're going to lock in the Jhin there for him. Over to London now, looking to round out their first ban phase here, pick phase here, I'd rather. They could look for something to go in the top lane, because now that Hecarim's been locked in, it tells us that without actually, no, because technically Gragas are flexible. Okay. Kind of playing myself a little bit there.
Yeah.
Merp could just go for the likes of a Gnar if he wants to pick something into this Gragas in the top lane, providing it is. But the Camille is open, and that is going to be the lock-in here.
Yeah, Camille's actually remained open. Okay, so a couple of champions now rise quite high in priority. Galio is the very obvious one. A couple more globals to maybe like the GP, but I imagine only Angel's going to be the one piloting this Gragas. So taking up the matchup most likely, knowing that he's going to be laning versus Gragas. I think Enclave now, the immediate bans probably have to be something like Galio plus maybe even Twisted Fate. I'm going to see the Orianna ban. I think is very smart. If you're Enclave, Galio has to be Galio has to be one. I would expect Twisted Fate to be the second ban. I wouldn't be too surprised. And if you're London, you probably want to just ban away a mid laner that can really hard force mid lane priority. Orianna ban suggests they're looking at Twisted Fate. Syndra would probably solidify that as that's what they're most likely looking for. So Enclave, he's listening. Twisted Fate, global champion. Camille's there. They don't want to have to put up with that. Only Angel wants to play League of Legends.
They're thinking about it. They're really thinking about it.
Let's see.
See what they're going to lock in here. Or ban away here, sorry.
I think it has to be because BD would be very happy to lock in Twisted Fate blind.
Yeah.
And there you go. So, perfect read from Enclave. I think London realistically banning the correct champions now. Victor probably remains the highest prio mid left up and available. But for now, they want to secure the Tom Kench lane with the Senna.
Is this fasting Senna?
We'll have to wait and see because honestly, some bottom lanes are actually playing fasting Senna with Tom Kench. Some are just playing AD carry Senna.
We saw it in NLC with the Tom Kench.
Yeah. I think
who was it? Singularity.
SNG. Yeah, Dragdar and Prosper.
Yeah, because Prosper was playing farming Tom Kench. So yeah, I genuinely think this could be a fasting Senna here. I mean, she does so well with all these extra souls.
It's really
You've already got the Graves as well.
You've got 2 damage sources from the Graves and the Camille. You can afford to play a more sort of utility role and allow Pepe to effectively just farm up and be a front line too, who can protect him and whoever BD decides to lock in. With Victor gone, you start to fall down to pretty low, well, not necessarily low tier support mid laners, but you start to think about things like Zoe perhaps would probably be the highest thing on BD's priority list now with the Rel there. He could try and challenge it with an AD mid because there isn't necessarily the only thing you have to worry about is Gragas stacking the armor. Oh right, but there is also the Rise. Yeah, I forget that Rise is so popular now.
To be fair, I forgot as well.
Yeah, so very fine with this matchup, I'm sure. Obviously allows for very strong skirmishing between the Graves and the Rise into the likes of a Victor early on, who isn't really going to be able to layer out much damage without the augment for his E or even Chaos Storm. So honestly, again, Rise plays that pseudo Twisted Fate Galio role where obviously Merpillion goes aggressive onto Only Angel, drops the Hextech Ultimatum, and then the Realm Warp comes up. It's not as instant as a Destiny Gate or a Heroic Entrance, but it's still something. So likely gonna see that be the case. And with a Senna Tom Kench in the bottom side, honestly, London don't have much obligation to actually go down to the bottom side of the map. They can just let them do their own thing, soak up any pressure that Enclave might put into them, and they can just put resources into Merpillion and into BD.
Yeah, I actually really love what London have put together here. Yeah. Because like you're saying, there's not really gonna put too much attention down bot lane. You got a Tom Kench Senna. It's so hard to catch that lane. So the expected outcome is bot lane's just gonna be put on an island, and it's gonna be top and mid side. So this is gonna be a good game. It's genuinely gonna be a good game. London's still looking to secure themselves second in the groups, or in the group. There's only one group here. Enclave looking to keep this going. Yeah. With the fact that M&M found their win earlier on today, they're now tied with them and Barrage, providing if Enclave lose this game, they're tied with M&M and Barrage. So there's a 3-way tie over there. I had to do some maths in my head there for a minute. So super important. But if they win this, they pull ahead of those two. And the key thing there is you avoid resolve. That's what all of this is about. All of this is just about avoiding resolve going into the playoffs, because you want to play them as late as possible. You want to make it into that stage where you can represent the UKLC at the Telia Masters and look to try and promote into the NLC.
Yeah. And for Enclave, honestly, for a while, they've not been, the strongest looking organization, which is a shame because whilst I've not been around for a while, I've always known Enclave as sort of a near kind of... They've been here for a long time.
Yeah, they are, they're older than a scoundrel, really, aren't they? They're part of the furniture in the UK scene. I actually don't know who's older in the UK scene. Someone on Enclave's gonna have to tell me, but they are part of the furniture, really. As long as I've been around in the scene, Enclave have been around.
Exactly.
They've been on the scene forever, and it'd be really nice to see them attempt to maybe make it further. Yeah, potentially try and make it into the new tier 1 league for the UK, which is the NLC. For anyone who's maybe a little bit newer to the league, the UKLC is a feeder league. It feeds into the NLC, which is the Northern League Championship, which is the UK and the Nordics, so Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Iceland as well. I feel like I'm missing one. I think I got them all, actually.
I think you hit them all, yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're the best. We're the best in the region.
Yeah, you might summon Gorborg if you say Denmark a little too loud.
I mean, technically, it's true. Technically,
It's true. It
We've got
obviously
XL and Fnatic. They are from the UK originally. And I'm sure that is going to tilt the hell out of Gulborg if he hears that. But it's true, Gulborg. Shut up.
So rude. I saw you guys bullying him on like Wednesday as well. Anyway, we're here. Game 3 started up. And yeah, honestly, for Enclave, really big deal. They've not really had much domestic success since around 2018 summer, I think, when they managed to make it to EUM. Is what my memory tells me. So a win here could definitely put them on the steps of, you know, whilst Helia Masters certainly is in European Masters, it's obviously putting them onto the path of being in the regional league that is the NLC. As lanes make it here. I don't expect too much action from this bottom side. I imagine then Voxney and Hepe are going to be relatively safe, and it is going to be the fasting Senna. You can see she has the sickle in her inventory. Hepe has that orange shield, so very, very safe in this lane. They can even give up lane priority. It really doesn't matter. As you can see, PFI is actually pathing towards the top side on his first clear, so that is going to be the case. And even when you have fasting Senna, attempted engage.
Able to dodge it and gets a lick on the way out.
Yep. Dodging out on all the skill shots on the way out too, so very... Oh, missed tongue lash there. Even though he throws up the he's got the rel emote. Very cute.
What champion
Yes.
do you think smells the worst?
Okay, right. Why?
Just
Why? Well, I guess we have our answer from the observer.
I mean, that's a good submission. That is a good submission.
You know what? I'm gonna hold on. I'm sure there's a pretty clear answer to this. I feel like Dr. Mundo is gonna be up there.
Yeah.
Scroll.
What other kind of like abomination champions have we got?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking.
Is there any zombie champs?
He's zombie.
Scion.
Yeah, I mean he's literally dead. So
Yeah. That's probably
Sion's
quite smelly.
Oh, hello.
Zorex has jumped onto Jeppe. That's going to force him to flash. Twitch is a good one. Our observer just typed Twitch to us.
Oh, did he? Yeah, Twitch is a good one. Trundle.
I mean, there's a smell you can feel is a line from him. But I don't know if it's him that smells or like the stuff he has on him. I assume it's a byproduct you probably smell.
Yeah, it's probably. Does Hepe have perfect? No, he doesn't.
Singed. What?
Singed. Oh, dude. Singed.
This is...
Singed is great. What do you reckon Zach smells like?
I don't think he smells much. I think he smells very artificial. He probably smells like a lab.
He just smells like plastic. He smells like a plastic bag.
Yeah, you know, there's like... he probably smells like... Do you remember those rubber aliens that used to come in the egg?
Oh, yeah.
I reckon he smells like that.
Yeah, that's another good one. Oh, hello. Cleanser's found PFI and he's popped the ghost immediately.
Yeah, he's looking for him, but the slow from the smoke screen means that Cleanser just going to use that little bit of boost to get to his gromp.
It's actually kind of a surprise that they don't hang around and fully cleanse it because they have full lane priority. Only Angel, I believe, his wave is crashing out. It's kind of hard to tell on the minimap. And Feely had full prior, but he wanted to recall to have a good timer on it. So it just seems like London valuing the lane tempo more than trying to put this horse further behind. And because of that, Cleanser's definitely going to be a little more on pace. Here you can see he's actually getting to the jungle camps as they respawn. Very linear path for him. As we get an extended look at that bottom side, you can see how oppressive it can be. The Senna as finding a pretty good trade here in the top side. Be trading grass stats for a majority of this lane. That was it's
an interesting lane actually, because whenever I see Camille, it's like this champion just outscales most side lane champions. Versus the tank Kragus, how does this lane go? What is the expected outcome? Because obviously there's the scaling, but Gragas just neutralizes so hard.
Yeah, see, I wonder if Slorex and Impulse are going to go for this. I think they want to just hold the fate, yeah. But Cleanse is in the sidelines, so...
Yeah, they got the Deadly Flourish. They've got the Attract and Repel. The healing's coming in from Denvox, and he does look to try and bop them back. Jeppe pops the grey health, and that is first blood for Slorex. Probably not the member they needed to get that kill, but they'll take it.
I just recalled a very interesting interaction. I believe Rel's Q actually burst shields. So
it does. It breaks shields.
that was why Kench actually died so quickly.
Oh, This is such a big counter to the Kench.
Yeah, it is. I don't think they necessarily mind too much, but definitely Hepe's going to have to take that into account. Hopefully he recalls that it is a mechanic. Only Angel. All right. Yeah. One day they'll truly fix Body Slam, I promise.
Yeah, when they do Nautilus Hook as well.
Yeah, when they fix the global Nautilus Hook. As, oh, everyone's in the area for this. Cleanser doesn't have level 6,
Vert
has
has
level 6.
Let's
how it
see if
goes.
it's going to work out. That is going to be Cleanser sliding in.
Oh,
As
I wouldn't have even cancelled that.
That was a... Oh, no!
Oh!
PFI's going down. Double kill. Do you know why that is? They had more legs. There's more legs in this lane at the moment.
I mean, technically, Camille doesn't have any.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least more feet.
Yeah, more feet.
There's 2 feet there. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Right, so Hepe, you can see, drops really low. It's good focus. They know that he doesn't have flash from the earlier play, and you can just see he's half HP, but effectively the entire value of his HP is actually in shield. So Ro just pops it with the Q, and well, Merp doesn't have a lot of HP value to work with. The Body Slam is being maxed, so it deals a lot of damage, and I wouldn't have cancelled that if I'm Merpillion. If I'm a Sykes, I beg your pardon. But there you go. Wanted to cancel the teleport just to keep him in lane. As the Skull Crab is picked up for PFI, and looks like he's going to be donating that blue over to his mid laner, who is in dire need of it, actually.
Is this just going to be upset day? That's
Could,
what I feel like we're in for.
well, the first game, I mean, on form, you can call that an upset. Game 2, obviously, apparently Demise winning in 2021 is definitely an upset. So yeah, potentially. And I mean, Enclave have been looking really strong, obviously. Or at least a lot stronger.
I feel like upset is a bit disingenuous to a lot of the teams. But unexpected wins.
Yes, unexpected. I wouldn't go as far as saying upset.
Some might say an upset. Cleanser is going to cleanse the area of wards. And I think that's going to be as much as he's able to achieve here.
He really
Papillion on the other side, going to solo this Rift Herald. Camille, really good at doing this with that Sheen. Got the cooldown reduction from the Kindle Gem as well.
Wow.
PFI is also here, so going to be a bit of a freebie as Enclave are looking to move some members into the area. And only Angel pops in and spots them out. And he might just finish this up. He's got his jungler nearby.
Yeah, nice leash. Thank you very much. Enclave stay to London.
I've asked this question a few times. I'm going really off. We're 3 games in and my mind is already falling apart. I've asked this question to a lot of people, but if you could have any League of Legends ultimate, like any League of Legends Champions ultimate, what ultimate would you have?
Okay, so there's the real obvious ones. Shen is like most people's very common answer to this.
But you have to go to someone.
Yeah. I wonder how it works. Like can you just know, if you just know a person, can you just do it? You know, you cast the hand signs and you just, off you pop. Oh, hello, engage bot side, potentially.
Yep, that's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. That's going to be 2 misses and 2 hits. Jeppe has got that shield, but in comes Cleanser looking to run him over, not going to be able to find it. Denvoxy just farming more and more stacks there.
Yeah, didn't feel like committing the ultimate Cleanser, so nothing really happens of that. Anyway.
Actually, Sorex is really good into this lane because Denvoxy's ultimate gives a shield as well.
Yeah, the shield is small, but it's obviously there, so I do.
And plus grey health. That's a pretty large shield.
Yeah.
It's why Rail does so well into things like the set lane as well.
Yeah. You cannot
absolutely
lane
dumpsters set lanes.
Yeah, it's almost insufferable, actually. It's not fun. Trying to think. So, like, obviously a lot of people say Shen.
Rise.
Rise
it's
is obviously
Rise.
Not, yeah.
Because you can take people.
Yeah, looking to
just clearing the wave.
The wave, yeah. I guess he wants to reset. No? Alright, well, Arky.
I think the wave got pulled away, and he wanted to make sure it crashed before he reset.
Yeah, potentially. Let's see. I mean, there's not really many cool ultimates that you would say would be, like, practical. Huh? Shen's, like, the really obvious one, to be honest.
It's Rise, because Shen you have to go to someone. But if you want to travel around the world, you can portal using Rise.
Yeah.
Or Destiny, if you just want to go on your own.
Or Twisted Fate, yeah. I wonder how Twisted Fate ult works, like from his POV. Does he just get to see everybody?
Everything. He sees everything.
His third eye just opens and he can just sees every person's timeline.
I don't actually know how Destiny works in the lore.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'll be curious to know.
Because I'm pretty sure in the lore of the game, I don't think you can actually travel across the world with it. When Rise can portal across the world.
Yeah, it's called Realm Warp, right? So do you
yeah. He uses it to travel across the realm.
Yeah, but
to
can he go into different dimensions because it's called Realm Warp? So I imagine. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I think it's because it's the realm is the point.
All right. Kind of boring if that's the case. But at the same time,
that's still sick. It's like, I want to go to New York for a pizza. Fly to New York.
Anyway, I think we've... Oh!
Merp is... Only Angel might just be able to find this. Cleanser's coming in. He's not, don't worry. Merp's out. Oh. I'm back to talking nonsense.
Back to talking nonsense. Yeah, the game's really slowed down. Sorry, guys. If you don't mind the podcast.
And if you don't, tough.
Yeah.
We're talking.
I do have to say this obviously does favor... I suppose it does kind of favor London. Their scaling is objectively stronger than Enclave's.
Yeah.
Senna infinitely scales. Rise should outscale Victor. And Graves, in team fights, might not necessarily have as much innate impact, but if allowed to stay alive, will definitely deal more damage than a Hecarim late game. Of course, crit builds typically do outscale. As Herald drop, seems like they weren't really able to actually find a super good use, though it does take down 3 plates because of the very awkward HP value. So 240 gold over to both the mid jungle of Enclave. They're going to be feeling pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and the gold was dead even up until that play.
Yeah,
and you can see the gold lead on the individual players right now. Obviously, bot lane is a little misleading. You look at it and go, oh, they're 900 gold down bot lane, but it's actually Denvoxney. Remember, he isn't actually farming like Impulse is. He's just farming souls.
They're actually even. If you flip Tom Kench into the role, okay.
Might not be so even now. As the Magnet Storm goes a little bit wide, Cleanser's looking for Den. Den's able to get away for the moment. Does have that shield. The teleport's coming in for the backup as Cleanser gets the fear off. There's the railgun. The flash has been used. They turn the shield off, but now Sorax getting turned onto. And Beely with the overload. Cool guys don't look at explosions. He just pieces out.
Doesn't even have to blow the flash either to commit to that kill. Just finds it for... Oh, that's unlucky. I'll talk about that in a second. Sykes maybe in a bit of an unfortunate position. Has flash.
Yeah, he's going to use the gravity field, but the deadly flourish is coming down, and
Realm Warp.
They're able to actually get onto him. They do have that Realm Warp. They have the Tom Kench Gobble as well. Everybody is teleporting up to Sykes.
Everyone's
he is all out of luck. Nowhere to go, and PFI collects the kill.
Yeah, too many teleports. And that's one of the strong things about this composition. I didn't really talk too much about it, but this is a near Draft Kingdom IMO from London. They have 2 split pushers who effectively can't be dueled on the side lane, and you can arguably say Rise is probably one of the best 1v2 mages in the game. And of course, Camille scales, well, she scales for a very long time. And then you've got the global out of Beely if he has to assist on his free. You've got the global from Tom Kench, and especially once he hits level 11 is when it actually turns into a global. At level 1, it's a very small radius. He can barely teleport to like a pixel brush from where Tom Kench is currently. Only Angel could be in for a world of hurt, but he does have flash.
Yeah, he's getting chased down. They got that teleport coming in. He gets the belly bop off onto Merp. Merp follows him, though, with the Hextech ultimatum and catches him. Merp flashes forward, looking for Sykes. Sykes is putting the damage in, but unable to let it sink. Merp will get out alive, and now Beely gifted the kill.
Gifted the kill. Trade is that second dragon, but London most likely going to be picking up the Herald off the back of this play. Let's see. It seems like there is
a PC issue on the side of London right now, but it shouldn't be too long to get themselves sorted. Bit of lag. Denvoxney has finished up his Kraken Slayer as well as his Sickle. So he's able to now play some Water Town and also has that Kraken Slayer. Rage Knife should be up next.
I have to say, Denvoxney is almost on curve as if he's an AD carry, which is kind of worrying to think about.
Yeah, he is actually.
Yeah, he's farmed well. The Sickle. Obviously, Observer, if you're still here, can you just hover over for us? I just want to see how much gold.
We're in a pause screen.
Oh, we're in a pause.
It's so lame. You can't interact with the camera at all.
Oh. Okay, well.
He can toggle individual gold.
Yeah, he can toggle individual gold, but.
Can you hover over Denvoxney if you can? He's talking to us. Sorry, we're getting back into game. The pause is ending anyway, so
yeah, pause is ending.
We'll see how many stacks he's at.
Yeah, stack check for 1, which seems to be 54. 54 stacks. So if comparing him to Harry, he's actually like 20 stacks behind Harry at a point where Harry was 30 minutes into the game.
Yep.
Which is almost kind of depressing to think about if you're a center player. So not gonna find anything there. And then also, dude, does the support item actually show you how much income is? I'm not too sure. Anyway, here's the replay of this top gank. Unfortunately, Enclave didn't quite have the numbers in the area. They're committing to the Dragon, and Sykes says, all right, I'm going to try and save my top laner, but it's a little too late. The reality is, and Merpillion actually does fumble on the Slingshot E, but doesn't really matter. Numbers advantage is still there for London, so they're not really punished too heavily for it. As Denvoxney is actually a level up on Pepe. I don't know how that happens when you're playing Fasting Center, but sure.
Yeah, that is interesting actually. Not sure how that happened.
It's fine. They're the same level now, but it's just strange that Hefe is actually behind an experience. Still used to the AD carry positioning, I suppose. Denvoxney.
Do you ever think Senna's going to become a support again? Or we just admitted that she didn't work as a support. She's now just an AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she had good or slightly stronger AP scaling ratios, then in some spots she could work as like a baby, like Seraphine, I guess, where, you know, Moonstone plus Staff Flame Water is really good to the correct lane matchups. But, you know, when you have so much damage being able to be achieved through builds like the Kraken Slayer, Rage Blade, or even just the Rage Knife, because apparently that passes. Oh, Cleanser.
Cleanser's in trouble. Slowed down.
He has the ult.
That's the ult to safety. Meanwhile, Only Angel getting jumped onto by the Abyssal Vortex from Jeppe.
Very fortunate. Of course, playing the ultimate isn't going to be too substantial. There's nothing really on the map to skirmish over. So it's going to be more about if anybody mispositions than an actual fight over something meaningful. It's definitely a very slow game, but again, it's benefiting London. They're likely going to slowly accrue a bit of a gold lead in a state like this. As you saw, the gold graph was just on our screens as, oh, hey.
Sykes is getting chunked by Murph, and Murph throws the ulti in, secures himself that kill with the tactical sweep.
Oh, no!
Sykes with the outplay. How did that even happen? Is the curtain called, the railgun's fired, and now Cleanser's making his way in, looking for Denvoxney, looking for somebody. PFI able to secure it, gobbled up by Jeppe for the moment, spat back out into the middle of the team, and the Deadly Flourish will secure that kill. Jeppe flashes over the wall, and Cleanser getting overloaded into by Beely. As Solex looks to jump in, and Beely putting out so much damage. The root comes down, Beely gets the Rune Prison, and that is Denvoxney with the kill. London turn it back around.
Yeah, Beely is so strong on this Rise right now. He's kind of gone a little bit unchecked. And you don't really want to leave a Rise unchecked in almost any game. And especially a game like this where, realistically, he's in operational range of everybody on Enclave. The only person who he could have some issues into is, of course, Impulse on the Jhin. But you can just see here, unfortunately for Merpillion, which doesn't quite have enough lethal. And then Voxney doesn't actually commit the Daunting Shadows to that bottom side fight. He commits it here in an attempt to take down Impulse. And it whiffs here, so potentially, if he uses that ultimate towards the bottom side for his top laner, could have kept him alive and made it a 1-for-1 trade down there. Cleanser makes out to the top side. The Gobble is nice to keep PFI alive momentarily, but this is where the fight swings. Is when the face check comes down and so much overload and bounce damage comes out. from Belian. It forces the flash away from Sorex. Only Angel gets rooted by the center, and then the Rune Prison comes down onto him. Too much CC, not enough of a health bar available to him. Drops down, had flash, wasn't even able to use it, I believe. And now, with that in mind, London with a gold lead, this Third Dragon, it's not really been the case today. Third Dragon hasn't really been an indicator of a game state past that, but Third Dragon here certainly could be. If Enclave opts into an engage and they lose at this point in time, I could very easily see London running away with the game.
Yeah, it could be really, really messy for Enclave to go into this. Billy's scary. Billy is very scary right now on this rise.
Yeah, Archangel Staff, Luden's Echo, very, very strong.
Also, PFI, about 400 gold, 425 gold off his collector. Probably has most of that picked up already. Teleport's coming in.
Oh. Okay.
They're going to look to try and get control of the area. Remember, Soul is getting fairly close for Enclave, and it looks like London's just going to opt out of it. They might call it bluff.
I mean, they know it's happening, so they're going to leave Cleanser on it, but I think they can burn through this Baron. Beely is very strong. Mercs even here of the true damage.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to have to make
Cleanser on the
Dragon so quick. Are they trading Dragon? Are they trading Cloud Drake for this? PFI able to dodge away and everything. The railgun's been fired. The Dragon has been secured as Merp stays inside the pit, keeping this Baron going. The health bars are way too low, and Merp will lose his life, but that is Baron Nashor for London. And they're going to get out as PFI has to flash the wall away from Impulse. Cleanser is going to try and shut some members down, but the tower is up. And London trade 2 for the Baron.
Just give me the replay. Okay. So, Merp gets knocked back by the cast, and that's why he stays in the pit for so long. It's a very nice Magnet Storm, honestly, to keep so many of the London members pinned down whilst the Curtain Call reigns in. But there's no more follow-up damage from Sykes. He's a little bit too far away, and also kept busy by Mopilion once he dives back out, and only Angel doesn't feel comfortable diving forward on that HP value. Just means London are able to execute the Baron. You can't tell by my reaction, I'm not necessarily too sold on the trade by Enclave. If London are able to utilize this Baron properly, and at the very least knock down all of the tier 2 towers left standing for Enclave, this could be a very, very poor position to leave yourselves in if you're Enclave, because you have to move forward. And not only that, you have to move forward into Senna, into Rise, into Graves. So much scary face check. And it's not necessarily the most, you know, it's no Syndra, right? It's not like you're face checking into Syndra or perhaps a Thresh or a Blitzcrank or something like that. But when you're this far behind and there's so much CC available to London, it really doesn't matter at that point. So we'll have to see how well Enclave actually fend off this, what looks like is going to be a 1-3-1 formation from London Esports here. Because those side laners are very, very strong. Merp score a little bit misleading.
Disingenuous.
Yes, disingenuous to how strong he actually is. I imagine only Angel will be able to hold him, but he can very easily jump onto one of these backliners from Enclave and do some serious damage, which can be followed up on because of the Hex Deco Ultimatum. A lot of pings coming down. Then Voxley and Hepe are split. There's no flank angle to be found.
They were looking for it, though. Game Tank was actually burned by Sorex there. Merp's now grabbed this top wave, and at this point, we should start to see the waves get synced up a little bit. I mean, that's the problem London have, was the waves aren't entirely synced, and they're actually struggling to crash at the same time to cause multiple points of pressure as Impulse feels the Kraken Slayer from Denvoxney.
It's a tough skill, actually, to be able to sync up the waves. It does require a lot of communication, particularly when, of course, the mid lane is much shorter than the other side lanes, so getting them to crash in sync can actually be a little harder than you may think. London not doing the best job of it right now. And all things considered, Enclave might just get away with this one relatively unscathed.
If they don't get a single tower, it's a massive failure, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the Baron's gone. So
yeah, that honestly was a massive failure, because now you're looking at Enclave, who are one off Soul, and Cloud Soul on a Hecarim is horrible. And
Honestly,
Jin, who already gets movement speed off his Gale Force, sure, he doesn't use the active part of the soul, but the passive movement speed he's going to gain is going to make him so hard to pin down.
And don't forget, of course, Jin has a bit of a multiplier where movement speed gives him, is it attack speed, which then converts into AD or just fly AD? It's one of those things. So the faster Jin's going, the more damage Jin's actually doing with his auto attacks too.
Yeah.
So the soul is actually a fairly big deal for Enclave. All of these members use it relatively well. If you drop the Chaos Storm, then you become very hard to actually be pinned down with all that movement speed. Magnet Storm, if you're moving at 50% extra bonus movement speed, becomes pretty obnoxious. They like that. I mean, I think we don't really have to describe a Hecarim, a Cloud Soul. I think it kind of just speaks for itself. So London doing the right thing, pumping 5 members into this bottom side. They know they have to have priority here. They know they have to force Enclave to walk into them. So they could potentially give up mid-prior unless they send all the numbers here now. But Enclave want to engage. Look at all the pings. They're going to move forward.
Yeah, they're going to get the snare off onto Sykes as that Sorex jumping in. The curtain calls there. Only Angel knocked out, gets a two-man bop. Beely has to use the stopwatch. The railgun's fired, but he doesn't get the shield in time. Beely flashes out. Bouncing around with the overload, though. That's been 2 for London. They trade out 1 in return from the side of Enclave, but London get 2.
Yeah, London gets through some brilliant stopwatch and a bit of a miscommunication between where's this Rumble going? Okay, I thought it was maybe a little more action. PFI and the Hooks, they have to be a little more careful now that they're alone as a 2, but Beely and Merp on the bottom side, they're going to be... no one can fight these 2 members of London if they're in a pair like this. And it seems like London are also going to get the Dragon, so honestly, a bit of a miscommunication from Only Angel and Cleanser. The Cask actually knocks the 2 key members in PFI and Beely out of the Onslaught Shadows, so you'll see it's Sorex that gets things started. They go on to Hepe here, but you can see Cleanser kind of has eyes for both, either the mid fight or the bottom side fight, and it's the engage from Only Angel which disrupts the engage from Cleanser, unfortunately. And once Beely flashes out, it's a massive overload bounce onto multiple members of Enclave. It just routes them where they stand. Beely even has the Medjais now, plus that blue pot, so he was ready for that fight. He had a stopwatch, a Medjais, and a blue pot.
I think they knew that was a very important fight for them. He's going to go back to base now fairly soon. Didn't actually go back to base. He was just baiting me. Going to look to crash in one more wave. Probably would like to get himself his Zhonya's finished up fairly soon. Baron spawning up in 10 seconds time. We could just see London barrel over towards this objective. And that looks like that might be the game plan here.
Yeah, and I mean, Beely could just teleport up here if they really want to start on spawn. It would be a little bit rushed, in my opinion. Funneling yourselves into a Baron pit if you're not defending the choke of the river, the entrances, is a little bit risky into Enclave's composition, so I don't think they necessarily want to commit too quickly. I think they want to have some priority on the side lanes, and then once they feel a little more comfortable that Enclave have to start splitting their decisions, their resources, then it becomes a more viable starter. See Beely returning to the bottom side. He's farming the entire jungle down there. So strong. On his way to a Zhonya's pickup. It's Goldgraph really indicating how London have slowly strangled Enclave out of opportunities to actually play proactively in this game. And I think, honestly, it goes back to the draft. I think this is such a powerful draft for London to have in their hands right now. 1-3-1, global
Oh my lord.
split pushes. Like,
Beely's level 17.
yeah, he's farming himself up a storm. Much like Pillar in the previous game, where he was 2 levels above everyone else. Beely finds himself 2 levels above or more everyone else in this game. That is what happens when you maintain a 10 CS per minute score and very active in some of the team fights. Things shot ahead in experience.
Now, if we do take stock of items right now, Den obviously on the AD carry a little bit. They don't actually okay place. Got the Kraken Slayer, got the Rapid Fire Cannon. Obviously got the Rage Knife just for the passive on it. Wants to turn that into a Rage Blade fairly soon, but wanted the extra range that the Rapid Fire Cannon gave it earlier. Impulse has the Last Whisper, the Collector, and the Gale Force. So it is also going to be capable of doing a lot of damage, but it is Beely, man. 13 stacks on the Medjais, got the Seraphs, got the Luden's Echo, and building towards that Zhonya's as well.
He's so strong. So strong. And the issue is, realistically, no one on Enclave can 1v1 him. No one can actually take him down on the side lane. So only Angel basically has to just sit here and eat up waves as Billy just slowly pushes in further and further. I think it would actually be smart for Billy perhaps to attempt to try and get a wave stacked in. But I think he's just in full button press mode right now. So he's kind of just letting the waves go in. All of London actually opting for a reset in sync with each other. So they want to spend their gold. See what the buys are. Components for Hepe. You've got the Zhonya's finished up finally for Billy. I believe PFI finished up the Infinity Edge on this base.
Yeah,
but could have had it previously.
The IE. He had a BF sword, so he got the last parts of it.
Yeah, and Merpillion getting closer to what I believe is going to be a Sterak's third item. All in all, Enclave, when they're in a position like this versus a draft like London's, it gets very annoying to actually pilot. Had Enclave gotten a lead, then they would have had far more avenues to actually play. Naturally, of course, but when you have a composition that kind of wants to do what we're seeing here out of London, where you slowly whittle at side lanes, you have a composition like Enclave's, which kind of just wants to go in as a 5. If you are that split push composition, unless you have really good side lane setup, it becomes very, very hard to play. As Billy just being level 18. 2 levels above us.
Den?
Den Vox.
Okay, there's the gobble by Shepe. Den's okay. He's got the sustain as well from his Q. Billy actually just hanging behind Merpillion in case he gets flanked, in case he gets caught out. 22 seconds until this Cloud Drake comes up. Remember, this is still Soul for Enclave, if they can get it. The London are the team who have the area, the pressure in the area. It really feels like the foot has been taken off the gas after that last Dragon fight for both of these teams.
But I think the issue is, Hipbrain, is that Enclave can't really move forward any longer into Billy. Specifically, if they can lock him down, great. Oh, they're trying to go onto Merpillion, but the cask isn't good enough. But the issue is that they're running into Billy, and Billy can't currently be bursted down 100 to 0, at least due to how some of these engages have been going. And when you're talking about having the Tarm Kench there for safety, the center there for all the utility, just gets near impossible. And we're seeing how much damage some of these overloads are doing, and he doesn't even have a death cap. Let's just take that into consideration too.
Yeah, I mean, when that he's got 513 AP at the moment. When that death cap comes in,
and Gathering Storm.
He is something else. He does have Does he have Gathering Storm?
He does. He does.
Oh no. PFI's doing a lot of damage. Cleanser getting chunked out. One more auto attack in the ult would have actually been enough. As now PFI's getting jumped onto. He is dead. There's the shutdown for Impulse. PFI just feeling himself a little bit too much, and with him dead and with Baron up, this could be really dangerous here.
It slows down the pace of the game for London. Not that I was moving anywhere in particular, but it just means, oh, okay, we could see London try and make a play onto Only Angel here.
Oh my lord, Merp does so much damage. Gets the Haytech ultimate and Beely flashes forward, looks for the overload. The Rune Prison is big. Now Beely tanking tower, jumps back to safety. Merp goes for the hook shot to get away. The Railgun shield is there. The Realm Warp is out as well. Not going to fire it off here. Meanwhile, then Foxy's getting jumped onto by Impulse. Has to go for a quick swim inside the Louis Vuitton pool, but he is out of there. London trade back.
And this is why I actually wanted to say, when we saw Beely hovering so long behind Merpillion a few minutes ago, is that it seems like because Enclave have so much wave clear, they were kind of stalemating the 1-3-1. So at that point, that's when you move both of your side laners into one lane. You often see teams like G2 from last year when they used to love playing this 1-3-1 style. You'd see Wonder and I believe it was actually Perks, who was still the mid laner at the time. You'd see them both move into a side lane and they would just attack whoever was trying to hold off the initial 1-3-1 split pusher. And it's what we saw there, but it was in a response to PFI actually losing his life in the top side. Felt like Enclave weren't able to respond in time, and they almost weren't. They did nearly find out then Voxney, who now doesn't have summoner spells. But it's going to be London just setting up around this Baron area now. Fortunately for Enclave, the important thing to note is that they didn't actually have their base cracked open. The base is still intact. All 3 inhibitor towers are still there.
Yep. Beely's got the Blighting Jewel now, so actually going for the Void Staff build.
Yeah, Void Staff. I mean, I think it's reasonable. There's a fair amount of MR across the board, particularly on the frontliners.
I mean, you could also sell the Medjais if you want the Death Cap later.
Yeah, if you lose the Medjai stacks, then it's definitely valuable as throw an auto attack out. Nah, it's not that much damage. Oh, okay. Merp could be picked on here, but let's see if he's respected the weak side police enough.
Does have the ulti available to be able to dodge some of these abilities. May have to do so as he gets pulled back in by the Magnet Storm. Hook shots as the fear comes down. Now Merp taken out by Cleanser.
Oh,
Meanwhile, London answered by finally taking open this base and getting an inhibitor. Now going to turn their attention towards this mid lane. Double AD carries. This tower is going to crumble. The clear isn't quite big enough, and that will be an open inhib.
Oh,
but there is Cleanser coming about. The Realm Warp's available. Beely, Denvoxy's been left alone. Beely's ult was not in position. And Den caught out by a fantastic Deadly Flourish from Impulse. Actually turning the tides of this incredibly well. And now Enclave, they may just look to turn this into a Baron.
Yeah, they could look for this. And I mean, it's a 3v5, so there's no reason for them not to. Oh, Beely wants to try and end the game here. Okay. Let's see how long it takes Enclave. I don't think he's got blue pot still up. So Enclave, this Baron isn't fast. It's not fast. They're going to lose their inhibitor for sure.
Oh. They do have supers in the bot side. I think
they could realistically make it to the Baron in time, this core 3, and kill the remaining members. But it seems like they're just more willing to make the trade happen. I don't think they recognize how slow Jhin Hecarim is 35 minutes into the game on a Baron. I think London expecting more damage coming out of them, so it's a long chain of events. So I imagine it's gonna it's gonna start off all the way back here. Onslaught of Shadows flashed away from the damages more than there between both of these hyper-fed scaling carries of London. The Realm Warp isn't actually used in an escape, and it doesn't necessarily matter for Merp, but you can see Denvoxy takes a greedier route in trying to rotate down to his carries. It cost him his flash, and then Merpillion a few minutes later gets caught out on the top side. He doesn't have the hook shot available yet. And once he does actually make it back out of the Magnet Storm, Onslaught of Shadows is there to follow. Hextech Ultimatum isn't used to dodge away from that ultimate. And it means just in response, the trade comes down. They take down this inhibitor tower. As we're actually coming out of the replay. Looks like London are looking to force onto this final inhibitor tower.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take it as well. Denvoxy's actually picked up a red pop in his inventory, so he's obviously recognizing that this could be the end of the fight.
Beely.
Cleanser gonna get found out by Beely. The ghost is on, the fear is there. Beely's running for his life. He gets the shield off from the railgun. Their team are coming in to keep him alive. Uses the stopwatch. The gobble comes in from Jeppe, and Beely secures the kill. Able to run away. He's burning low, but not going low enough. The Realm Warp will take the two limping members out of this one, and Denvoxy able to survive. Gets the kill onto Sykes with a shutdown as well. And London stop the soul.
It's just a good response, and this is what I was talking about. It's why I like this draft so much from London. They're able to respond to side lane attacks so well with the Tahm Kench ultimate, the Daunting Shadows, Realm Warp, teleports. It just becomes so hard to pick on any member at any point in the game. And fortunately for Enclave, they have the Baron, so they're going to be able to hold out with the minions coming out powered up, but there are numbers disadvantages. 3 versus 5. The only issue for London is that PFI is a little bit low, but it's not really going to matter as long as he's got this center to heal him up. And all of a sudden, it's 3 inhibitors down for Enclave. Doesn't look like London can realistically push for more, so they're just going to take their foot off the gas. They're likely just going to shove in final waves and back out here. And London, I mean, it's been a very slow-paced game, but it's been very much a step-by-step process of one by one dismantling tower by tower into the inhibitors for this London side. They don't want to take any risks, or almost any risks anyway, it seems, in trying to secure second place with a win here. As Beely just on the bottom side, Blue Ward spots out Cleanser and unfortunately misses out on one overload here, you see. And if he found it, he definitely would have killed Cleanser, but I don't think it necessarily matters once you have the support there anyway. And once the members of London make it here, you see Impulse almost takes down PFI on the top side. And unfortunately, for Sykes, not able to kill the London AD carriers, so doesn't make that 1-for-1 trade either. London limp out with all 5 members still available to them. Enclave couldn't secure the soul. Means this next dragon going to be the soul for either team, and given how London have played with this lead so far, will likely be the soul in their pocket. However, we're approaching the point where gold leads start to matter a little less. It starts to become about the map pressure from inhibitors. execution in team fights. Who makes a misstep where? Who capitalizes when?
Well, they're trying to crash all of these waves in here. They are struggling to actually close the game, though. There's still a lot of wave clear on the side of Enclave. You got that Victor. But these waves are starting to stack up. They are starting to be problematic. Mid lane inhibitor is just going to melt. There is...
Oh.
No... Okay.
Oh,
you do need to actually hit it one more time, guys.
My good.
It is silly. Oh, how many stacks has Dembox he got?
He just autoed the inhibitor from behind the fallen inhib tower. Goodness me.
How many stacks has Dembox he got, Obs? Oh my lord, this is so obnoxious.
I don't think it's gonna be way beyond 150. It's been such a slow game. Oh, engage potentially.
Yeah, they're looking, but it's the Tarn Kench.
Oh,
There's
oh,
the Magnus Storm. The railgun is big. London, health bars are low. Sorek is also running very low himself. Jeppy's able to dodge away. There's the shutdown. Merp jumps in. Demboxy takes that 4th shot, and now he's going to have to get sent packing. As London get turned onto by Enclave, Merp does have the Guardian Angel, so will go for the Resurrect, but not going to be able to survive for too much longer here. As Enclave just forced the engage.
And they had to. They had to, Hiprin. If they didn't force the engage there, they would have lost this brilliant Magnet Storm followed up by a very massive ultimate from Cleanser, which keeps so many members in CC for so long, and Beely isn't able to stopwatch in time. It starts off with the cast on Tepe, but look at that. Beely is stuck in CC for too long, isn't able to stopwatch any of the engage, falls as soon as he goes out of the stasis. And unfortunately for London, as soon as Beely drops, there's no Tahm Kench to keep any of the other carries alive either. It's just full retreat mode. And for Murphy, he's going to lose out on this Guardian Angel. He eventually does drop the auto attack. I'm not sure. He dies in the middle of his cast of his ultimate. Very unlucky, but he still would have been resigned to his fate in the Death Chamber anyway.
Enclave have only taken 1 tower this game.
Oh,
if you look at that map, top lane tower still hasn't even got the icon to let you know it's gone a little bit low. It's still healthy. That is how demanding London have been on the map. And ultimately losing that fight is bad for them. But like it needs to be more for Enclave. They need this Baron and they need to do something with it, because last Baron was just reactive. And they've been spotted out by the Scry.
Oh, this one's dying quickly.
It is going down so quick. There's the collateral damage, not even remotely close. And Enclave, they have to do something with this Baron. Otherwise, they're just going to slowly bleed out again. Their map state is not in a place they can defend from indefinitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's, I suppose, a positive thing, and it's very strange to say 42 minutes into the game, but there is so much standing gold left out on the map. If any of the, I mean, they're all full build.
It's basically irrelevant, though.
It doesn't even matter at this point. Everyone's full build. Everyone's full build. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what, the tanks, and that's it. Soul secured
for
London.
This is a long game.
In their back pocket.
How many stacks is Dembox on, Obs? Now that we're out of teamfight mode?
Yeah, let's go off to center.
That's Ekram. There. No, that's Tahm Kench.
Tahm Kench.
We're getting there. No, we're not.
That's Graves.
Is your keyboard all upside down or something?
There you go, 213. I don't think... we can see the bonus stats if our Observer hovers over the passive, but I don't know if we're going to be out of action for long enough.
I think we'll be out of action long enough. So, range is 250.
So let's bear in mind, yeah, that's base range on his auto attacks. And let's take into consideration, he also has a rapid fire cannon. So you're looking at an additional 375 range from his base range. He's approaching tower range. I'll put it like that.
He's approaching tower damage to a level 1 champion as well, really.
Yeah. I mean, you can see how far away he's auto attacking things from. As London resign back into a 1-3-1, which they should have learned their lesson in by now. They know, especially whilst Enclave have a Baron.
Is this game ever going to end? Oh, we just stuck in purgatory.
We are in purgatory. I'm sorry.
Beely is closing.
Okay.
My God.
Oh, Cleanser's here as well.
Merv, you're going to have to do some miracle work here. I don't think it's going to be big enough. The 4th shot hit the grump, but Merv's out.
He thought Merp was going to flash. There was no flash tracking. It's so late into the game. I don't blame him. Fight HUD's here, but it doesn't look like there's going to be an engage coming through from Enclave onto London. Oh.
We'll see you in 4 minutes when the Elder spawns and more action breaks out. Oh my lord.
Oh no, they want him again. Merp, you gotta have learned your lesson, man.
He's out this time. There is no curtain call this time, at least.
Oh.
This is so tragic.
This game has actually made me hungry. Like I
am genuinely starving, and I was like, "Oh, I've had a quick day. We can cook some food after the show." And now I'm like, "Oh, well off schedule." 45 minutes into this game, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Honestly, we don't often get games as entertaining as a slow 45-minute barn burner like this. So I you know what? I can live with this one.
I just feel like Beely with Gathering Storm. It just didn't he have Gathering Storm? Like,
oh yeah.
Jesus, this game is. Oh, he sold Medjai's, by the way, and got a death cap.
Yeah, unsurprising. Does Beely? So Beely has to have, what is it, 84 additional AP off of Gathering Storm by now. I think that's
how much AP has Beely got? 930. We're closing in. We're closing in on Veigar numbers here.
Yeah, if he 5 more minutes and he'll.
He doesn't have a pot ticking. Oh. Right, how much gold has Beely got? Okay, I forgive him.
All right, sin.
If he had over 500 gold there, I would have been like, Beely, you plonker.
Oh, he missed the cannon. 45 minutes
no.
of the game. Come on, dude. It's not as if he's full build or anything.
Sell your boots, Beely.
I mean, what are you recalling for, bud? What are you gonna buy?
Pot.
You can't buy a pot. It's 500 gold.
No, okay, yeah. I was like, maybe he got 500, but then I realized he's only killed 1 wave and a blue buff.
Do you remember this game started out with you asking me which champion I felt like smelt the most? This is still that game.
I know. The last game was Demise winning.
Yeah.
That feels like it was last week.
Yeah. You know what?
I mean,
maybe
we're actually closing in on it being last week. It's almost Monday.
Yeah, maybe it is a backwards day, you know? Like, I voted against M&M. They finally broke their loss streak. We had Demise win a game. Enclave have returned to unproactive ways, in the early game at least. London in a position where they have to make very funky side lane plays like we saw versus, I want to say it was actually Demise, funny enough. Well, at least we're back to week 2, week 3 levels of gameplay. Once Super Week is over, it seems like teams just want to...
See, it's kind of now tragic because Den can't get his last like proper AD item like that. Imagine that with like another AD item, like a collector or something.
I mean,
because he's got the sickle and he's literally the team's ward supply now.
Yeah, I suppose he can't actually... Oh.
Merp once again on the receiving end of a bit of love. Great blind comes in, but he is getting shot.
Don't get clipped
one after the other. There's the collector. Forcing the GA out, and London, they're going to have to go for the fight. They're coming in for Merp, but Merp's caught out for the moment.
Oh, he's been eaten.
The charge. That's the railgun. Health bars are melting. Den's getting run down as Impulse finds the kill. Impulse is the hero, but Beely is just so strong right now. PFI has to flash away. Beely's trying to jump out. Gets out with a realm warp. The health bars are low. Oh, Merp, what the hell? He's out. Enclave, unable to do too much, but the teleport's coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Going for the back door.
Okay, he's going to find at least one inhibitor. They're on the Baron. London are on the Baron.
Oh, what is going on?
He's hitting the Baron for 1.5k and overload. He is so late game right now. Merp is probably going to die. An Elder spawning in 5 seconds. Hey, Brain, what's going on? What's going on?
I literally, it's like these teams just woke up and they've been spotted.
No.
They've been spotted. They can't do this.
They're going to do it anyway.
They're going to go.
They're going to do it anyway. They want the inhib. They're going to go with the Elder. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know what's going on anymore.
All off this wild ride.
Oh my goodness.
48 minutes in the clock and the game state stays pretty bloody neutral.
Oh. Just hear replay in my ears in the silence.
The first replay in about 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. So Merpillion, I feel like we've seen this a couple of times now. This game. This was 5 minutes ago. This replay was 5 minutes ago. go. And then look, it's like a mirror image as GA's back up and everything. It's the curtain call is almost at the same angle. This time the fourth bullet does actually connect, and that's the thing that pulls London into this fight. And Beely flashes away from the engage. That's the key thing. But on the bottom side of the map, look, Impulse has found his way onto then Voxnay, and then Voxnay is no longer able to provide that long-range damage source and healing for his team. And Sykes is also in full late game mode as well. He deals so much damage, and unfortunately the gravity field isn't big enough to actually stun up Beely in the Realm Warp, otherwise he would have been caught out as well. And on the back of all of it, Merpillion actually teleports into the base to secure the mid lane inhibitor. And this is just the crazy Baron attempt as well. Beely so far into the late game, he could solo Baron if he wanted to. 1.5k per overload. Powered up by the Essence Flux. Oh my god.
He must have 1000 AP right now.
Yes.
Yeah, 1207.
120 AP from Gathering Storm. Does PFI have Gathering Storm? Just last we have oh yeah, he does.
What about Den Voxney? I assume not.
No, I don't think he has Sorcery in his
No, because I assume he'd go Domination second.
No,
maybe
it's Precision.
Precision. Yeah, sorry, I forget that you go Glacial.
Enclave can't even force the issue.
Their second tower. 50 minutes into the game, Enclave take their second tower of the game.
Oh man.
Don't worry. For all you guys sitting at home, you got 4 minutes until any objectives spawn up. So grab a blanket, put on the kettle. We'll see you in 3 minutes when some action breaks out.
Am I allowed to snack on broadcast? Like, is there somewhere in my contract which says I'm not allowed to eat?
I'm pretty sure there's nothing in the contract that says otherwise. I'm sure Peta might eat you out for it. But,
yeah, maybe. I don't get kind of hungry, man. London.
I'm tempted to. This last game might just be a cooking stream with me and you, to be honest. We're going to move the cameras and everything downstairs. I'm going to be cooking some dinner.
Oh no. Fight hunt.
Action.
I don't believe it.
We get action now? We get team fight?
We get freedom? I don't believe it.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine if he had 100% crit? Could you imagine if he had another AD or like...
What is he supposed to do? He auto-attacks further than his W gets flung out.
At one point.
Look, what is that? How many stacks?
How many years? Normal League of Legends screen is that Sykes is looking for him. And they're into the pool to safety. Like, honestly, 272 stacks. Like, at some points, he's actually just going to be able to auto-attack off screen.
That's a great flank. This could be it. There's no vision on him either.
Only Angels coming in. Can he find the belly bop onto the key members? No, it's only Jetbait. Everybody gets sent packing by the cast. London are out of range right now. The railgun's doing work. Oh, Merp's going for the back door. Impulse might just be able to take him out, though. Look for this Jin damage. 1,000 off the auto attack. And Merp is sent packing. Inhibitor goes down. Cleanser goes in for the charge. Cleanser's still pretty tanky. Impulse getting chunked out by Denvoxy off the screen, though. This center hits like an absolute truck. The tower's getting focused down, and this game might finally be over. London looking to close this one out as PFI slides in. In goes Cleanser onto Beely, but Beely is just way too big. The tower is going low. The GAs are coming in, and down goes the final member of Enclave. 53 minutes on the clock, and London get the win.
Okay. It's done. It's finished.
It's not
London.
Done. It's not done. There's more League of Legends to go. And honestly, that game was so long. We're going to throw a break right now. We'll see you after this.